Grapefruit or lemon?
Lemon. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I'm 8 days off of quitting vaping.
Congrats.
Thank you. And
You're over the hardest part for sure.
I am, yeah. Oh yeah, but lemon water's been my go-to.
It hits, yeah. Oh yeah, sparkling water keeps me off of the beer. It's the carbonation and
Yeah, it's refreshing. Okay, you ready?
let's hit it.
Cool.
Real stories, real people. This is how we heal, by turning our pain into power.
Hello everyone, welcome to How We Heal, Turning Pain into Power. I'm your host, Daddy Magic, and today I'm sitting down with...
Hyperbeam, Kael, tacos,
Hell,
whatever you want to know me by.
What do you prefer?
Let's go with Kael.
Yeah, okay. How did you come up with Hyperbeam?
I never outgrew my Pokemon phase.
Oh.
I almost went with Ice Beam, but it felt a little too like on the nose, like ice and chains. And I'm not much of a bling person, so
Cool, man.
yeah, I mean, I got my whole like Pokemon tattoo.
Oh, shit. That's tight.
So yep.
Was there a point for you when art became necessary for survival?
Yeah, I mean, pretty well my whole life. I mean, I think it started a lot more innocently when I was a younger kid. And, I had to find something to do with my time besides just raise hell in my house. And I found outlet with drumming, especially, both from a physical perspective, but also a musical perspective. And I think just with my personality being slightly obnoxious was also kind of a fun idea for me. But as I've gotten older and I've gone through more experiences and, connected with more and more people, I think music has now become the way that I communicate most effectively. I think both through sound and now lyrics, they've become a way for me to express myself in a way where I'm less likely to be misunderstood.
So all these instruments in here, you can play them?
Almost. The banjo I'm still working on.
Yeah.
That's something I'd still like to learn a little bit more of. But everything else in here. It's my same drum kit I've been playing on since high school. Same acoustic guitar.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, I've always wondered about that, Sometimes I feel like a fraud because I only play the DAW.
Sure. Hey, that's, and I think what attracted me to like mixing in the first place was it's its own art form in itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's its own creative process beyond writing music. So
yeah, that's true. I love the mixing process, and now that I have this podcast, I've been mixing just audio, completely different.
Way different. Yeah,
I've done mixing music. Yeah,
I've done a couple of spoken word things before as well, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're just like applying a vocal chain and calling it good. I'm like, there's actually a lot more that goes into it than you would think.
Have you heard of LUFs? I just learned about those.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, the smaller the number, the better, in my opinion. I mean, it is completely genre dependent and the vibe you're going for, but
true.
I like my stuff loud.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, how has your pain influenced your art?
How's my pain influenced my art? I mean, I think, like I kind of mentioned, it's how I process things. So, my most recent track, Ballad of Suburban Burnout, I literally wrote that in the throes of telling myself, hey, we're done drinking for the night. Like we're going to stop. Like we need a healthier way to express these feelings that we're having. And, sorry, remind me the question one more time. I got distracted.
It's okay. How has your pain influenced your art?
Yeah, how's my pain influenced my art? So I dig into that pain a lot when I'm writing, wanting to create those emotional connections and be vulnerable as a human.
Yeah. Well, how did you cope with past grief? How do you cope now?
Yeah, I think for a long time I did the classic familial, bottle up deep down and let it just kind of fester. Got into therapy, thankfully, at a relatively young age and helped beat that out of myself a little bit, which is, I'm not perfect yet. I still struggle with that occasionally. But as I have grown and become a little more independent, I think there was definitely a time when I wouldn't use substances to cope necessarily, but it was easier for me to not have to deal with things when I was under the influence, whether it's weed or alcohol or something like that.
Yeah. Therapy's been a blessing. Are you still in therapy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right now I've been doing pretty well the last year or so, and my therapist and I have kind of gone down to less frequent meetings.
I'm right there now too.
Yeah. It's almost a really good feeling when you show up to an appointment and it's like, well, what do you want to talk about today? It's like, well, I don't know, actually. Like last couple weeks have been great. Like, wow, I've never felt this before, and
it's really cool. Yeah. When you reach that point, your therapist's like, well, let me look at your list of issues. And then you go through them and you're like, oh, I've resolved all those. Actually.
Yeah. And so I'm really lucky. I'm 2 for 2 on some pretty incredible therapists. And, yeah, it's really great to just be able to check in with somebody who I relate to on a personal level.
Absolutely.
As well.
I have a quick question so you make folk punk?
Yeah, that's kind of the era I'm in right now.
Okay.
All of my genre evolutions have happened very organically. I've always played my uke in my music. Not every song, but I definitely knew when I was going to make my own music, I wanted to incorporate it somehow. Definitely experimented a lot with like the pop punk sound and delved into a little bit of hyper pop just because I write kind of sad music in general, sad emotional music, regardless of genre. But very recently I've found quite a home and community in folk punk. I think a lot of people have been through similar things that I have, but also the sounds feel very fresh, and it's one of those things where when I sit down to write a song, it comes to me more naturally. You know?
Yeah, I think it's fun because you're singing like really upbeat and clear, but the lyrics are like, oh damn, that's fucked up.
I want to bring you in with a twinkly uke melody and then make you question your existence.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Before we move on, I just wanted to offer this up to you. You said you're not perfect yet.
Mm-hmm.
I lately I've been saying like I'm not aiming for perfect. I'm just aiming for me.
For sure, I like that mentality a lot.
That's been liberating.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing I've been trying to unlearn from my childhood, even as a almost 31-year-old. Is it was expected. I was like going to get good grades, and like anything less than an A was unacceptable. Not to the point where I was in any sort of like abusive household, luckily, but there was definitely a lot of high expectations placed on me young that have been hard to unlearn. And I think I've definitely taken advantage of that as well, though. I think, when it comes especially to like the quality of my mixes and things like that, where it would be easy to just stop at a point and say good enough. But I think striving for the best it can be. But even same thing with music. Music is never finished. It is simply released. You know?
Art is never finished. It's abandoned.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm getting toasty. I'm going to turn on the AC again.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll be all right. The mics they've gotten better.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're not creating, what do you do? Who are you?
Yeah, I really like to cook and bake.
Really?
Yes.
Sick.
I love cooking, especially learning how to cook new cuisines, and that sort of stuff. I cook a lot of like Asian and now Indian food.
Ooh.
I've recently started exploring more into a lot of curries and those sorts of dishes. And then always been a baker as well. Actually, in high school, I used to bake and sell cookies to help fund concert tickets for myself.
Damn, that's sick.
So, went to a few shows before the school shut me down.
Wow.
But yeah, I'd like to do that. I've got my fiance. I have 3 cats that also are pretty much toddlers.
Yeah, your sign makes more sense now.
Keep me entertained. Yep. And then video gamer on top of that.
Yeah.
Play a little bit too much Overwatch. Recently got into GTA.
Recently?
I'm like 10 years late, but I played Schedule 1 and I was like, I need a little bit more driving and like fighting,
Right,
and so I was like,
right.
GTA.
That's funny. I tried playing Schedule 1 with my friend who lives in Australia, and we spent way too much time at the character creation, and then the game just like crashed, and it was like, okay, well, we tried.
Yeah, see, for me, the fun part of that game was the management simulator. I love setting up the grow operations and like optimizing everything.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm big on that too. Sorry, which GTA are you playing?
5.
Yeah, okay.
That
makes sense.
Online. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's even crazier.
That's what a lot of people say. They're like, because the inflation in that game is crazy.
Yeah, also just because people have been playing it for so long. Me and my brother tried to play GTA online, right? And we were like running guns in a van, and then like a jet flies over and bombs us.
Demolishes you.
And it's like, there's no chance.
Yep. No, when we're trying to make money, we'll do private servers because we'll just like run our money, and then we'll join the public ones just to like fuck around and have a good time. So.
That's smart. That's smart. Okay. All right, man. When you feel invisible, how does it feel to be seen, and how do you carry that feeling forward to see others?
I like that. I'll probably ask you to repeat that at some point, but it's really funny, especially as somebody who has recently started getting more in front of the camera and front of stage. For a long time, I loved being a drummer. I love being a DJ. I can sit in the back and hold it down, no problem. But as soon as people are looking at me, I used to freeze, and that was hard to get over. I do not enjoy being perceived. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But at the same time, it's it can be fun. So the question was, what do I do when I feel invisible, and how does it feel to be seen?
Yeah. So when you feel invisible, how does it feel to have someone see you, like really see you?
Yeah, I mean, it's freeing and really encouraging, because I think the feeling of invisibility comes from feeling misunderstood or feeling alone. And so when somebody's able to connect with you on a deeper level, it's very, I mean, of course it feels good, of course, but I think it feels very validating is the word I was looking for.
Okay. Yeah. And the second part of that is like, how do you carry that feeling forward to help others feel seen? I'm
always trying to be as understanding and charitable as I can in all facets of life. We are very, very complicated people as humans. We're all going through our own shit, and we're all trying to make the best we can for ourselves, our friends, our families, our communities. And I think trying to keep that in mind, and then find opportunities to see somebody for who they are, or understand their struggles, or what they're going through, where they came from. Trying to pass that forward as often as I can. Having conversations like this, I think, and especially the opportunity I get to be with artists in the studio at some of their most vulnerable moments, and being able to provide some encouragement and support that I wish I had when I'm recording my own music. I think is not valuable, but is an opportunity that I really try to not take for granted.
That's cool.
I mean, I have an artist who comes in and says, this is his therapy every week. He comes in, he'll talk with me about his songs and how he's writing them, and both from an advice perspective, but also from a like, hey, am I communicating this properly? And I think getting that sort of frame of reference into somebody's emotions and thought process is something I don't take lightly.
That's amazing. That's interesting, because usually when I have studio time booked, I'm the guy, I practice and rehearse before. I've never actually thought to ask the engineer, like, is this good?
And I mean, and good, of course, is very, very subjective.
Sure.
And I think I can find the good in a lot, almost to a fault, because if one person likes something or connects with it, usually the songwriter hopefully likes their song, connects with it. Yeah. If one person does, then somebody else will. I've always said, like, we should write music for ourselves, but I think it's worthy to write music for other people. But sometimes that person you need to save is yourself.
Sorry, I have a little bit of ADHD. I just had a question.
That's exactly what happens to me all the time.
Okay, cool. Right. Damn, what was I thinking? What is one thing that you hope people will learn from you?
One thing I hope people will learn from me. Well, my mom always says, if you can't be a good example, at least you can be a horrible warning. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
So, I don't think my life is such a mess that people need to look at it and like take heed, sort of thing. But I hope that people can learn that growth and change is okay, and I hope people can learn you're never going to be right the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or even the fourth time, and that it's okay to change your mind and opinions and change your habits and the people you spend your time around and the things you put your effort into, and that you don't owe anybody anything short of, signing some sort of contract for like a business thing.
Sure.
But, in life, you don't owe anybody anything, and nobody owes you anything either. Do things out of the kindness of your heart and the desire to create a better society. And don't do things with the expectation that you'll get something in return, because that can only lead to strife.
Yeah.
The project I dropped in January, I had a lot of songs, or a few of the songs were about my frustrations with the energy I felt I was putting out and the lack of energy I was getting back from people who I maybe romanticized as better, closer collaborators than they actually were or wanted to be.
Yeah. I've been setting boundaries for myself, actually respecting myself, and it's
it's big.
It's been amazing for me, but yeah, I've kind of found myself in another, limbo between social circles because of it.
And that definitely happens. I think it's natural to hit plateaus with any sort of growth that you're doing, and it's hard, and I think also necessary to sit in that discomfort and really, really understand what your relationship to that discomfort is.
All good change happens from discomfort. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So rewarding to look back and see how far you've come.
Absolutely, man. Do you have anything like that? What's one victory, I've been calling it? Like, what's something you're proud of right now?
Yeah, I'm definitely really proud of the consistency I've had with like my personal social media stuff. And I think being consistent and sticking to a schedule is something I've always worked on. Like, it's easy for me to make a plan, I think, with like a 9-to-5 job or something like that and just do it. But holding myself accountable, I think it's when I'm accountable to other people, it's easier to do that. Whereas if I'm trying to hold myself accountable, it's easier for me to be like, well, I'll just let it slide today. I'm only hurting myself, and that sort of thing. So I think being able, I think actually that's the win overall that I'm taking as I'm kind of processing and talking about this out loud, is being better at holding myself accountable, whether that's not drinking too much or like watching how much I'm smoking or, who I'm spending my time with, and, am I giving the cats the attention they need? Right. And there's so many small things that can slip through the cracks that we can just overlook really easily. And I think, a win for me recently has been a much better personal system, especially as somebody else with ADHD.
Wow.
And I also suffer from a bipolar 2. Managing all of that has really, really helped adjust my framework for dealing with life.
Wow. That's interesting. I'm the opposite in that way. Like, holding myself accountable has always been easier than.
Interesting.
Yeah. What's it like living with bipolar disorder?
Yeah, and so I have BP2, which is a little less manic, but I still would have manic phases or phases, but then my depressions would be like crazy valleys. And it was a process figuring that out, because depression and anxiety play so much of a part in bipolar as well, that it was a lot of struggle figuring out, like, okay, what is actually going on with my brain?
Yeah.
How are we gonna solve this? So getting on medication was the best thing I've ever done. I was really resistant to medication for a long time because I didn't want to lose myself. I didn't want to lose the spark. Come to find out, I actually hadn't felt like myself in a decade.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize I got on medication, and I remember like waking up like 4 or 5 weeks later, like, oh my God, I feel like I felt in high school. Like, I don't know, I woke up and I felt like a kid again almost. I was like,
wow, man.
I was so paranoid about losing myself that I lost myself along the way. And so being able to finally reconcile that and find a solution to help me set up better habits for myself was such an incredible journey. And it's a journey. It's something I'm always working on. You know, the ADHD meds only get me so far. I still have to set up those good habits to make sure that if I go off of them, or if I run out, or, you know, there's an Adderall shortage a while ago. Luckily I wasn't, I'm not on Adderall, but if something like that were to happen, I need to make sure I have the resources in place for myself to still manage and function as a human being.
Wow. I'm curious. So yeah, I'm on antidepressants. And man, so obviously they were working right at one point, and I was like, I'm cured of my depression. So I stopped taking them, and I just got worse because you know, the meds were working. And I've been kind of playing with the idea of getting off of them again, but I guess I'm kind of afraid.
And I think that the trick is, and where I'm kind of at too, because my goal too is to not be on medication my whole life, but to use the space that the medication gives me to set up these habits for myself, so that when I do eventually go off of them, I can then recognize, okay, we're going into a depressive episode. Well, what do we do? Well, okay, we don't go buy a bottle. We don't, you know, go buy an ounce. We sit here with our cats and we boot up a video game and we play a board game with our fiance, you know, and spend the time with the people we love, and being able to recognize ahead of time, because it's so easy for me for a long time to be like, why do I feel like this? Like, oh shoot, I'm depressed, or I, you know, get a panic attack and be like, why is this happening? What's going on? But over time was able to identify, okay, I had this panic attack. Okay, I'm in a panic attack. Let's stop. What triggered it? Okay, cool. And over time I've been able to get ahead of it, where it's like, okay, that's triggering, but I know it now, and I'm not going to let it get the best of me, and I'm going to actively deal with what's happening. So that's kind of my goal with the medication, is to make sure. And I don't think it's, and I don't think it's bad to feel like, hey, you know, maybe it is time to go off of it, and then go off of it and then realize, you know what, it wasn't time. Like, and that's an okay thing to happen, you know? And then you can go back on and you can reassess, like, okay, what did fail? What failed when I went off of it, and what do I need to change for the next time?
I love that. I love that you, you know, you're doing all the work, you know, like I'm on sertraline, and I got on it when my trauma memory surfaced, and they just took the edge off, and they made it easier for me to actually go inside and do all that work. Set up all those like systems, you know.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I love that you're doing that for yourself. How do you experience God?
That's a very, very interesting question. So I actually grew up Mormon. I was baptized and everything like that. I experience God in a very, very metaphorical way, where, you know, I'm not the biggest believer in like personally. As far as my personal truth goes, I don't quite have the belief in a larger like energy, or any sort of like predestination or anything like that. But I definitely learned when I was, you know, growing up reading the Bible a lot, that the world is built on what goes around comes around, because every little decision you make, especially when interacting with like another human being, will have a snowball effect that you probably won't realize, you know,
the ripple effects.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure, did you watch My Name Is Earl?
I've seen clips from it.
Basically, you know, he made the list, he was going around writing his wrongs, and what happened at the end, spoilers if you haven't watched, you know, and you're planning to.
Good spoiler warning. I appreciate
you know, 15-year-old show.
At
the end of the show, a bunch of people come up to him with their own lists, and it turns out that they heard from somebody about this method, and all of a sudden people are coming up to him writing their wrongs against him with their own list, the people that he never even, you know, talked to, and however long. So I that's kind of how I experience God in sort of a way, is I don't think there's a predestination, but I believe that what you put out is what you will ultimately get back. And granted, sometimes bad people make it to the top. The good die young, and it definitely happens.
Yeah.
Life isn't fair,
Mm-mm.
but I think that by trying to live a good life, you're putting the right energy and vibes out into the world that are needed, that some people might find through worship. But for me, it's I can't remember what the quote is, but it was like, just live a good life, because if there's a God and he's just, he will judge me for how I lived and not how devout I was.
Yeah. Wow. So your faith is like more like grounded and just day-to-day human interaction.
Yeah. I think it's secular humanism. Wow. Is what you would call it.
That's cool.
Where people can be good. I believe humans in general, I believe humans are inherently good, but it's so easy to corrupt that, especially with things like capitalism and leaning into things like greed and envy. And like, I think those emotions are definitely okay to have, but it's how we act on them that makes us who we are and affects our society and global society as a whole.
Yeah. Well, with this in mind, I'm curious about this thing right here with Roots Above and Branches Below.
Yeah. So The Devil Wears Prada, funny enough, both August Burns Red and The Devil Wears Prada are Christian bands.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of Christian music definitely shaped my modern, like what I like to this day. So they're a metal band out somewhere in the Midwest, I believe. But what I really liked about them and August Burns Red is, some of their songs do get a little worshipy, but they're ultimately about supporting each other and doing good by each other. So some people do that in the name of God. More power to them, but I think these two albums, Constellations, and then with Roots Above and Branches Below, were very, very influential on my sound in general, as far as like when I'm making heavier music and exploring that.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, because just, that concept alone's come up a lot on the show, as above, so below. And
oh, yeah.
It's, tied into a lot of people's like beliefs. So I was just wondering if it does for you.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Thank you.
So actually on the last question.
Okay.
But I already know the answer. What are you doing after this?
What am I doing after this? Well, actually I got to go in and cook some lunch. I got some laundry to do. Got to keep on top of that.
Yes.
And then, tonight playing some D&D. My Goblin Artificer is named, first name Canty.
Canty.
Khanti.
Okay.
Last name Fixit. Ficksit.
Canty Fixit. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Actually, my first character that got obliterated very early on. His first name was Dill, and his parents were hoteliers, so last name Inns. Dillons.
Are all the names kind of like puns or?
No, mine, yes.
Yeah.
The other people like to play normal characters, but
that's
I'm
fun.
too much of a goofball.
Okay.
So, probably hop on some Overwatch tonight, like I tend to do.
Yeah.
I've been going through a chess phase right now.
Chess?
I've been playing a lot of chess online.
Against the computer or other
No,
people?
just randos.
Wow.
I'm not very good. I'm a very low rated player, but it's fun. It's a really fun like little strategy game to pull up. I like to do the bullet chess. It's like a minute timer, so you're just like throwing pieces around the board trying to like beat your opponent.
Wow. My little sister's really good at chess. She has her own chessboard that she we play with sometimes. And I had a really dumb moment. I feel it's dumb.
I blunder my queen constantly. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I always forget how to play, right? But I was watching the Wu-Tang Clan show once on Hulu. And the RZA, his character was like, we have to treat the Wu-Tang Clan like pieces on a chessboard, we move together. And I was like, oh, duh.
Yep. Yeah, you're moving. And that's such a great metaphor.
You're not moving pieces individually. Like, of course,
Well, you are, and everybody still got their role though.
Sure.
And I love that metaphor because it's a group effort where everybody has to be coordinated and intentional about what they're doing. For the greater good, you know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that about chess, literal chess. It makes sense that you would want to have like a plan for every piece you move and not just move it, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you ever want a good book on strategy, The Art of War, Sun Tzu.
Okay.
If you haven't, I would highly recommend. They make like little pocket versions now that are a little bit pared down.
Yeah.
Excellent mindset on strategy. Like, of course, it's in the framework of like war and battle.
Sure.
But the concepts that he touches on in that book, I mean, I apply in marketing strategy, in music development strategy, in chess. One of the ththings he said in that book is like, it's the idea of like always having the high ground. And that can be metaphorical, but he meant it in a literal way. But I read that and I started playing Overwatch on the high ground and I started doing better. I was like, what is this? Like strategy is strategy, you know? So if you ever want to think deeply about strategy, check the book out.
Okay.
We can chat about it. It's great.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I was actually asking my brother about that recently. And he said there's a part in the book where, you know, they're like, if your enemy is within a ravine, you can flood that ravine and kill them all. And he was joking. He was like, how do I apply this to making lunch? You know? Yeah. But that's cool. That's good to hear that you can actually apply it to really anything you want, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, and I would even take that sort of passage and I would, you know, think about it from a marketing context. If your enemy is wasting their budget on this one thing, you know, make them keep going, you know, like force them to think that's a good idea so you can then put your money and your efforts elsewhere.
Sure. Yeah. Fascinating. Okay. Yeah. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Cool.
So we're at the tail end of the interview. I usually close it out. And then if you want to just like chat for a bit, we can.
Yeah.
Or if you got to get somewhere.
No, let's hang out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been How We Heal, turning pain into power. I'm your host, Daddy Magic.
I've been Kael.
This is Kael, Hyperbeam, Tac0 Productions. Can you just like let them know like where to follow you?
Oh, shout myself out?
Yeah, shout yourself out.
For, you know, sad kind of folk punky music, at hyperbeam.music on all your favorite platforms except for Twitter. Follow me on Threads. I'm a riot on Threads.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yes, Threads is great.
Good to know.
And then on all platforms, if you look up Hyperbeam, all caps, that's me there. If you're an artist, you want to talk music production or engineering, at Tac0 Truck Studios, where the O in taco is a 0. The cat logo, you'll see it. And then, I got some new music coming up, going on tour in October. So, nice. If you are around the world, let me know. Would love to see y'all.
Sick. Hell yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, so where'd Taco come from and why is it a cat logo?
Yeah, so Tacos is actually a holdover from my gamer tag in college. My buddies and we had a Xbox clan called the Dank Fridge. And so I was Dank Tacos. We had Dank Udon, Dank Cheeseburger, Dank Burrito. Okay. And then I just kind of leaned into tacos as my online. So my first project, I was just Tacos Beats. Excuse me. And I made lo-fi.
Ooh.
That's how I started making lo-fi, and then I started doing beats for rappers. And then when I started getting into production, it changed to Tacos Productions. And now that I'm really focused on the studio, it's now Tac0 Truck Studios. And I think that's kind of the final evolution of it. That's where Tacos came from.
Okay, cool. Tac0 Truck Studios is just, that's cool.
Thank you. And I think especially being here in a little tiny home, you know, it's definitely, I think, a vibe.
And it makes sense you're not in an actual food truck.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. That's what I was picturing.
Although I have an idea of doing like a mobile studio, like getting an old like minivan and like putting like a little production desk in there, and then like a good little mic setup so I could like pull up somebody's house. You know, we set up a little DIY booth. You record your music, I mix it, we're good to go.
Well, if you do that, you gotta think about like probably got to charge extra just for gas.
No, exactly. And that's the hard part is like it goes
Maintenance.
against my desire to be as accessible from a cost standpoint.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
I love, it's so fulfilling to me being able to work with new artists, especially, and be like, hey, let's talk about your influences. Okay, listen, I know you want to rap on a Logic type beat and sound like Logic, but Logic has already done that. So let's talk about how we can like, you know, like, okay, what do you like about Logic? You know, what do you like about Lil Peep? What do you like about, you know, Post Malone? And let's take the essences of that and help craft a sound for you that's unique. And
dude,
that's really, really fulfilling to me to see somebody grow in that way.
I got that same advice from Diction Uno, and it was so helpful, you know, because I was trying to replicate like Larry June, Dom Kennedy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Because I'm not them. I don't live that life.
Right.
Yeah, Diction was like, take what you like from, you know, whatever artist you listen to, put your own spin on it. It was that simple. And I was like, duh, that makes sense.
Well, I think a lot of people too, until they start making music, they don't listen to music with that sort of critical mindset. They're like, oh, I listen to this because it sounds good. It makes me feel good, you know, to dance to it or listen or whatever. But then being able to sit down and be like, okay, is it the beat I like? It's like, well, oh, I love the way this kick is hitting, you know, and the rhythm that it's using. Because, you know, you could make a Logic type beat that doesn't hit like a Logic beat might, you know. And so being able to eloquently discuss that and help people develop that mindset. And, you know, I love having an artist sitting here and I'll pull up music on the computer and be like, all right, let's listen to the song you really like. Now tell me what you liked about it, you know?
I bet that's interesting. I bet some people kind of struggle. They're like, well, like, because they haven't really thought about it.
Yeah. And it's just practice. And so it's fun to be able to practice with that. When I've been making beats with artists recently, I no longer ask for like, okay, who are the inspirations for this beat? I say, no, tell me what's the situation for this song. Like one person came in and said, they were like, the vibe is you just walked into a strip club and a stripper's coming up to talk to you, but they're an op. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So we're like kind of seedy strip club vibe, but a little bit of that tension and intensity that you might feel, and the beat we created was so much different than if somebody had said, like, make me an R&B beat that sounds like it should be played in the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, because if that's what they had told you, but they were feeling, you know, the other thing, it wouldn't have been right.
And the lyrics wouldn't have matched the beat and the vibe would be off, and then that song would sit on my computer forever.
I think what you've tapped into is brilliant. So I haven't really been talking about this, you know, like keep your dreams close, whatever. But I've been prepping my music catalog for, you know, streaming.
Nice.
Or not streaming, sync licensing.
Nice. That's something I really need to start getting into more.
And I'm in the Excel spreadsheet just for hours, just doing all the metadata and the descriptions, you know, like you just having people like describe the feeling of what they're hearing or, you know, wanting to hear.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about the relationship between like sync licensing, descriptions and how I've been approaching it. That's really great insight, actually.
Yeah, those the emotion behind the music is probably more important than the music itself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. I've been playing drums for Mickey XO.
Mickey XO. Local?
Yeah, she's like kind of like dark pop almost.
Okay.
But yeah, she did a sync licensing song it was supposed to be for, I think, Euphoria. And I love it. It's probably one like my favorite song from her, and one of my favorites to play too, because it's one where I get, as a drummer, I get to sit in the pocket, just like really groove and have a good time.
That's tight.
But it's just like, wow, like it sounds like it should just be in that show. The first time I heard it, I was like, this sounds straight out of Euphoria. And she's like, well, would you believe that it was a sync brief that we wrote this song? I was like, crazy. And so,
good for her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's the emotion and the energy of the song, is definitely almost more important than even the lyrics sometimes, you know? Yeah,
well, I'm not, I don't know. I feel like my lyrics are too specific, maybe.
I definitely understand that sentiment. I will say, but I think I said this earlier too, like, if you relate to your lyrics, somebody else will. And we have such a habit of as humans of imprinting our own experience onto the media we consume.
True.
Like, and I've never let an unrelatable line in a song stop me from listening to that song if I still relate to the rest of it.
True. Well, yeah, I've been prepping all my sorcery music rather than the Daddy Magic music.
Okay.
It's all instrumental.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, as soon as I started making that stuff, people were like, basically telling me, like, I can't rap over this. But it's very cinematic.
Yeah. Well, and I've definitely have beats like that too, where it's just like, who's gonna rap on this? What's going on? But then I'll hear a song on Spotify where I'm just like, oh, it is possible, but it just takes the right person with the right approach to do it. It's like there are definitely beats I have where I'm sitting on them like, I know I'm going to meet the right artist to send this to. Like it's not a beat I would include in a beat pack when I'm sending to somebody about like, here's some beats I have that are open, you know. It's like I'm sitting on a few where I'm like, no, this is very, very specific to a vibe and delivery even.
Have you heard my song Creature?
I probably I definitely listened through your stuff at least once.
That was one of those beats.
Okay.
I really wanted a feature on it, and Diction Uno hopped on.
Okay.
And he killed it, but yeah, it's more of like a really like dark industrial trance beat.
Yeah.
And not hip hop at all, but yeah, we made it work, and it's fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wow, man. When did you start making music?
Well, I mean, I was putting piano lessons when I was 5. Wow. Didn't like them at the time, but I'm so glad I did. I still love playing piano. I think and then when my dad got our first iMac in late middle school, I was on GarageBand using loops to just like build random beats.
Yeah.
And then I started a like metal hardcore-y kind of proggy band in high school, played drums in that. And then in college started almost took a break from music for a couple of years just because like college was so busy and like I was busy doing a lot of stuff and still like finding myself as a person and like going through a lot of strife and growth. And then sort of towards the end of college I got my first like MIDI keyboard, started making like beats and things like that.
That's
knowing
cool.
The ultimate goal is I wanted a studio and I wanted a spot to work and collaborate with other people.
Yeah, most people start so young, you know, their music.
Yeah, I know. I felt like I was too late for a long time. Really? Trying to really start. Well, as far as like Hyperbeam goes,
okay.
I felt like I was late because I didn't release my first Hyperbeam song until I was 27, and so I was like, well, great. Most of these like rappers and like people are retired by this point. They're making the music they just want to make because they've made it big already. You know? And it's like my youth is only going to last so much longer. But then I think it wasn't that year. It was the year after, I think, where Jelly Roll won New Artist of the Year at 39. I was like, okay, no, it ain't over till it's over. It took me also a long time to get confident in my lyrics to the point where I felt like I could sing something in front of somebody that I wrote. You know, because it's super, super vulnerable. Even if the song's not a vulnerable song, like it's still a piece of you at some point in your life that you're imprinting onto that. But yeah, the other thing I remind myself is like, I think a lot of people try to capture the youth audience when they're like making music, because I mean, the kids are where it's at for up and coming stuff. You know, they're the new wave, but you know, I don't make music for children. I think there are definitely there have been a couple times where like somebody will follow me or they'll repost one of my things, and for the longest time I'd reach out and just be like, hey, thanks for sharing or whatever. I clicked on my profile, I was like, oh, this person's 16. I am not messaging this person at all.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, now I have to like check myself on like who I'm interacting with, engaging with online.
That is just a good rule.
Because my music is for adults. It's for people who have been through the strife. And like, I'm not writing teen angst music, you know, I'm writing stuff about sobriety and like stuff that kids should not be going through. And really, but at the same time, you know, I was in high school going, got my wrist in black, my eyes, even though I wasn't even about that life, but I was still singing it at the top of my lungs. So it's been an interesting transition, and also something that as I got older, I think that's why I felt I was too late. I'm like, well, I'm no longer relatable to the youth, and like that sort of thing. But it's like,
you're still relatable to your peers.
But I'm exactly, and I realized like, oh, I'm not trying to actually capture that because that's a money chasing ideology. I'm in this for music and self-expression and that sort of thing. And it's really easy, especially in my early 20s, getting lost in the grind and the hustle, focusing so much on that, and not appreciating just what's going on around me.
Yeah, it's easy to lose sight of that.
Yeah.
Something, Jamie Fortune?
Of course.
Yeah, he told me at one point, it was such good advice, just like, stop and recognize that you're currently at where a past version of you desperately wanted to be.
100%. I try to reflect as often as I can, because again, it's never done. Don't want to be chasing perfection too much,
right?
But which is why it's really good to look back and see how far you've come. Especially for me when I hit one of those plateaus where I feel like I'm not advancing, I'm not growing at all. But then I can take a step back and be like, okay, but look how high this plateau is compared to where we started.
Yes, yes, absolutely, man. Yeah. Sometimes I listen to my own music and I'm really moved.
Yeah,
like I can't believe I made this. Like this came out of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Moments like that are great when you're feeling stuck or
yeah.
How do you know who your fans are?
I think, so, I mean, I'm the sort of person too who will call myself a fan of somebody or something if I like even one thing they do.
Okay.
With the caveat that I don't actively dislike everything they do. I'm no longer a Kanye West fan. I did used to enjoy his music a lot, but the person he is, I'm no longer a fan of that. Yes. That said, I would consider a fan anybody who has connected with me at all, whether it's just an Instagram follow, whether they're actively streaming my music, whether they've come to a show, whether they're just wearing a shirt that I gave out for free or whatever.
Sure.
I think I kind of see all those people as my community, and the word fans has always been like really weird for me to say because I'm like, it almost feels like I'm placing myself on this pedestal where like I have followers and things like that,
Okay.
I think that's just a mindset that social media has given us. But I think, I would consider a fan of anybody who engages with the message at all.
Okay.
Even if it's as simple as they saw my TikTok pop up and they left a comment that just said like, hey, I connect with this. Even if they didn't go stream it, if they didn't follow me, I'm like, hey, that person is a fan of my music. Whether they're engaging or not, they have now shown me that, hey, they are a fan of what I'm doing. They appreciate the effort I'm putting out there.
Okay.
Actually, I think that's what it is. When somebody appreciates the effort that you're putting into your art, I think that makes them a fan.
Interesting.
Like I would say my mom and dad are fans of mine. Do they listen to my music? Probably not.
Right.
My dad doesn't even have like an Instagram account. He's not even engaging with me on socials, but I know he supports what I'm doing and the message and the energy,
Yeah.
And then as far as identifying those people who are your fans, that's a tricky question because 99.999% of the time you don't know. Unless they make themselves known to you, you're not going to know. It's the people who are coming up to you after a show and saying, yo, that was sick. Like, can I get your Instagram? Like, they're a fan. But the people who discover you on a Spotify algorithm, I'm probably never going to know those people. And there's a chance a lot of those people might never know me beyond that song either. I'd still consider them a fan, but don't know where they are, who they are, beyond Spotify telling me that the stream came from Michigan or whatever,
Yes. I had one of those stats recently. It was for this show. It's getting some play in India.
I have a decent audience in the Philippines and Indonesia.
Okay. Cool.
Part of that was actually intentional because when I was running ads for my music and kind of experimenting with different marketing stuff, a single click on like a Facebook ad in like the PNW, California averages like 25 to 30 cents per click, which is not unsubstantial. Mm-hmm. We're talking fractions of a penny per click in Indonesia.
Okay.
in Micronesia.
Okay.
And so I was like, cool, I'm just going to spend my budget for this week over there. And as a result, and that was like,
that's a good idea.
That was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I still regularly get plays out there. So now when I do go tour out there, I'm going to have a fan base all ready to go.
Your tour in October, are you going to the Philippines?
No, unfortunately not. That'd be really fun. Midwest and East Coast.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, see, I guess that's a better example. How do you know people are going to show up?
You don't until they do.
Wow. Okay.
There's a certain amount of, I went to school for marketing. There's a certain amount of theory you can put behind the marketing you're doing. And marketing encompasses everything from random Instagram posts all the way to running ads to creating flyers. And it's all about putting yourself in the position to be potentially lucky. So uploading as much as possible so you might hit the algorithm at the right time or hit the right video to go off. For instance, on this tour, I actually wound up hiring a booking manager who's helping put together the lineups and locking in the venues and all this sort of stuff. Could I do it myself? Yes. Yeah. Would it take me 10 times as long? Yes.
Yep.
But also, because of the connections this person has, he was able to be like, oh yeah, no, I'll bring on bands that will bring at least 10 to 15 people each, so I'm not performing to a fully empty room where only the other bands. Granted, sometimes bands don't promote properly and it doesn't come through and it doesn't happen.
Sure.
And so the best thing I can do to get people to come out is anytime somebody even comments as well, like, oh, if you ever tour, I'm in St. Louis. I put their handle into a spreadsheet and I note where they are so that when I finally do get out there, I'm not waiting and hoping that they see one of my 2 TikToks promoting my St. Louis show.
That's a good idea.
I can actually email them and be like, hey, or DM them and be like, hey, I'm actively coming to your area. Here's a link for the ticket if you want. Or if they're the first person to ever reach out for me from that area, I'll message them and be like, yo, I'm putting your name on the door. Like, come out, like I would love to meet you face to face. Cause like I'm a very social person. So being able to meet people that I connect with through my music is the biggest reward of all time. And if a $10 show ticket is, I've been unemployed for almost a year now. If a $10 show ticket is what's going to stop somebody from coming to my show, I'd rather they just come. I'd rather they come and have a good time. I'd rather play to somebody than nobody than try to make money on it.
Yes.
Know?
Are you? Sorry if this is too personal, but
no, I'll have to talk about it.
So you've been unemployed for a year. Is your music and your art like sustainable?
No, but I have a partner who's a nurse, and so I'm very blessed to be in a very lucky position with her and her career, where we haven't been like saving or doing anything extra, but we've been surviving. The last year. So between what she makes there, what I make on the music side of things in the studio, and then I do a little bit of freelance marketing here and there, but I'm like not a freelance person. Again, accountability to ourselves. Yes. I recognize that freelance work in the marketing sector is like not the best thing for me to do, but it's been a way to help like make ends meet in the meantime. So
wow. Okay.
Yep. I'm hoping. I had an interview actually right before this. That went pretty well. I'm going to go in tomorrow morning and do a in-person interview, and not the perfect job, but it is the job, and it's one that will allow me to continue to pursue music, which is what it's all about for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have, another surgery coming up. I have to get my left foot rebuilt.
Okay.
That's going to be about a year of, rest and recovery.
Yeah.
And so, I'm really trying to turn my art into a career. I have this show. Mm-hmm. Who knows what'll happen with this?
Yeah.
But I'm also really working absurdly hard on the sync licensing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
again, that's another great avenue to put yourself in the position to get lucky.
Yeah.
Because if you are on sync licensing, then there's no opportunity for a show to pull your song and then have that show become a cult classic. And now when I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched The Office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, a couple of those songs, I know every time I stream that episode, that artist is getting a percentage of that thing, and it adds up over time,
Yeah. And basically my parents are like, you have a year, just see what you can do in that time. And then once you can walk again, if it hasn't really taken off, then yeah, you gotta get a job.
Reevaluate. Exactly.
Which makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of where I was with the studio too, you know, trying really, really hard to make a career out of it. And I've definitely not hit the milestones that I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, as a creative industry, when the economy takes a downturn, frivolous things like studio time are generally some of the first to go.
Yeah.
But there were a few months there where I had a paid music activity every single day of the week. Like I was doing a mix on one day, I had an engineering session the next, and then I finished a final mix for a client on Thursday, and then on Friday I had a DJ gig, you know. And so it's like slowly getting there. But the thing is I gotta have 3 of those every day to make it like career worthy. And so it's building that. But then I had one client, my only client this week was yesterday. And so it's like ebbs and flows, and it's hard to plan around that.
Yeah. Wow.
But my partner's also an artist, and so I'm trying to help her with the business side of things, of getting some like sticker stores set up and
what's her art
like that. She it's Nudes X Dudes, Noods X Doods, like noodles and doodles.
Okay.
And so she does this really, really cute, like kind of cartoony art style. She's done a lot of my album art. Actually,
really,
or at least the from my past little cycle, she's done some of the art.
She on Instagram, is that her handle?
Yeah, Noods X Doods. And then she also does like pet memorial illustrations and some things like that as well. So yeah, very, very talented, incredibly talented. And her art is so cute, and so we're working on. We've made stickers and stuff before, but I'm like, you know, we could set up a little storefront, like, maybe make some money on this as well. So,
I feel like you're limited only by your imagination.
100%. Yep. And what you want to, and even like we're getting to the point too where even money isn't a huge barrier anymore. I mean, for the cost of 6 hours at a professional, high level studio, you could get the equipment to start recording yourself. You know what I mean? And so it's the strategy then of like, okay, where do I best put my resources and effort? Because there's only 24 hours in a day, and God knows I need to get 8 hours of sleep or I'm unfunctional, but dysfunctional. But
it's cool. K Wayne, he started doing Rose City Vines, and I saw that, and I was like, that's what I want to do, but I don't have the equipment. And I started making excuses for myself, but I really wanted to just start, so I just fucking did.
Yeah.
And I told my parents what I was doing, and they were like, here's a tripod, here's a camera rig.
Nice, yeah.
And I bought the mic, but they also gave me a mic, and it was like an orbital mic, so it picked up noise like everywhere.
Yeah.
Not ideal for podcasting.
The omnidirectional, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, man, just, I don't know. I fully believe in myself now and what I'm capable of, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah,
and I think that's so many people are just afraid to begin. Like I don't have this, I don't have that, but you can use whatever tool you have access to.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it's so easy. Excuses are so easy. And I'm the master of making excuses for myself when it comes to not fulfilling my personal goals and things like that. It's easy for me to tell myself like, well, we'll just do better tomorrow, or like, we'll try again, which is, it's okay to try again, but it's not okay when that happens 4 days in a row.
I wanted to show you this picture. I almost put my phone's right here. It's a dinosaur, just like chilling, and the caption is like, there's always tomorrow, and then there's like a meteor.
Oh,
like,
yep. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think especially right now with just how the world is, like, things can change so quickly.
Yeah.
And so it's really, you have to take advantage of the moment, because you never know what would, like, if I didn't have my partner, like, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I would have had to sell the house and would have had to figure something else out,
Sorry, you own this house?
Yeah.
What? Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. One of the big things, like, my ex-wife and I, our biggest like strife was we couldn't agree on where to live. But we had money saved up for a house, and so when we split, I had just enough that I could put the down payment here.
Ex-wife?
Like, Yeah. I married my high school sweetheart when I was 22.
Oh man.
And
okay.
Yeah, we divorced when I was like 24 or 25. And then as part of starting over for myself, I like moved out here a little bit, and I mean, it worked out well because I got on Tinder and my first match was my now fiance, who lives like 5 minutes. She was living with her parents 5 minutes up the road. And so it like worked out super well. You know, I try to remind myself constantly that, and this helps keep myself accountable, that every decision I've ever made has like led up to us having this conversation right now, you know.
True.
Has led up to my partner and my cats and my friend group and all that sort of stuff. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And it's like, you know, go through a lot of hard things, but it's the decision to not do something has never actually advanced anything. So I try to remind myself, like, all the decisions I've made to do stuff has led to where I am. And so I'm always trying to make sure I'm like doing something, you know?
That's so cool. Wow. Yeah. You know, obviously everyone has their own life experience. I really didn't start living until like 27.
Oh yeah, no, I always say I grew more from 23 to 27 than I did from 13 to 23. It just surprises me sometimes, like, I don't know, that you were married before, you know, or that some people are married now. Like, sometimes I still feel like a little kid, I guess, and but I'm not. I'm 31. And just like coming from like trauma, you know, it's just I know life is not a competition, it's not a race, but sometimes I do feel behind. Yeah, and I think that's the result of how our, especially American society, is set up to be a race, where if you're not if you're not first, you're last, you know, where that's not the case at all. Nice quote. I was high when I said that. You could be second, third, fourth. Be grateful for the little things, you know. Gratitude has changed my life. Yes. It's very easy to get stuck in like what sucks. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, you know, not being able to walk or hold on a job because you can't stand. But, you know, having a family to rally around you. Right. Support you. Yeah. That's incredible. Yeah, man. I think, another skill for me has been not comparing grief. Oh yeah. Because I think for a long time I felt like I was gaslighting myself, and I was like, why am I depressed? I have it so good, you know, I have these wonderful friends in this, but it's like the grief Olympics helps nobody. You know, like, because I'm glad you are aware of that. Yeah, because we're all in this together, and by supporting each other is the only way we can heal and grow, regardless of like what's happening. I've talked to some people who they kind of write off their own pain because someone has it worse somewhere else. Yeah, but everyone's pain is valid. Yes. 100%. I've also had people ask me, like, if I get mad when someone's just talking about their grief. It's like, no, not at all. Yeah. No. It's like, my grief is more extreme than yours, so you don't deserve to talk about yours. Right. That's crazy. Yeah. I don't agree with that at all. Wow, man. Well, I'm a fan of you. Appreciate that. I love your space. Thank you. This tattoo, this sleeve, has been distracting me the whole interview. Yeah. Same guy who did my leg. That's so sick. Yeah. I'd love to be covered at some point. Everything but my face. I probably won't do any face tats, but all the way up to my neck. I'd love to have like full neck done. Like, I think when I do get a job again, one of my goals is to start on my chest. Is my next big piece. Do you have other tats other than the ones I see now? Nope, just these two, because my first one was this one, the 5 words in black ink. I got that when I was 18 in college. It literally says that. It literally says 5 words in black ink. Oh, wow. Man. There was a piece in the Portland Art Museum hanging in the modern art wing, and I think it might still be there. It wasn't a permanent piece, but I know it hung out in Portland for a while. It was an orange neon sign that said 5 words in orange neon. Okay. And the artist had a lot of literal pieces. He did a whole series on literal art. Yeah. And I loved it. And so one of my dorm mates, his girlfriend was in tattoo school and needed like people to practice on, basically. And so it was like $20 tattoos, and it had to be a certain size and really basic. And so I was like, 5 words in black ink. So I like pirated Photoshop and like made that tattoo. That was my first one. But then after that first one, I was addicted. I was like, I want more. I want more.
Really?
But I knew I wanted big pieces. I wanted, like, my body is a canvas for wonderful artists to put art on. And so immediately started saving up for my sleeve. And then we did the sleeve, and then we did the leg, and then we came back around and did the hand to kind of complete the arm.
Yeah, it's gorgeous work.
Thank you. Yeah. Very, very, very proud of it.
It's kind of like cyberpunky.
Yeah, biomech is what he calls it. Very, very influenced by like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay. Yeah.
And kind of like like Samus Aran, and Mega Man stuff.
Fuck
like that.
Yeah, that's, you can tell.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I had a friend a while back who he used to work at Ice Cream Renaissance in Vancouver.
Okay.
And he got a tattoo like in
Oh,
there.
man.
It just like you would never know, but he's like, check this out.
Check it out. Yep.
Just says ice cream.
Oh, it's so good. I see, and I love tattoos like that.
You should get Hyperbeam.
That'd be so funny. Oh man, I don't know if I have pain tolerance for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah.
But
Any you want, or just not for you?
Yeah. I nearly got one a while back. It was like a flash sale, and
yeah, those are so fun.
But I showed up around noon, and they were already done. Like, the line was long, and I wasn't gonna get in.
I really want to get into tattoo tourism, where when I go to different, like I'm really hoping on this tour, there's a few different artists spread throughout the cities where I'm hoping I can get like an early morning session with one and like get a tattoo while I'm on the road and like doing that. But I'd love to especially like go to Japan and get some like a tattoo out there. And like there's an artist in Spain I really like that I'd love to go visit at some point and get some ink.
That's a sick idea. And since you're in the content game, you could film it, turn it into a series.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't have any tattoos, but I'm building quite the collection of scars.
Yeah.
Down here.
So I mean, yeah, if I can ask, I would love to know more about like.
Oh yeah, my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was born with upside down and backwards feet. So like upside down, backwards, and my ankles were deformed.
Okay.
And so they were able to flip them right side up and forward. But
did you do that when you were a lot younger? I assume that like immediate, basically.
That was pretty much immediate.
Okay.
But they couldn't do the surgery that I've been doing now because I was just too little. The bone still needed to grow.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And then they just gave out like a couple of years ago. Like I had custom braces made that helped me walk, but they also restricted the movement.
Oh yeah.
And so what was built to help me caused my muscles to atrophy.
Oh, gotcha.
And they ruptured because I wasn't using them.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we've done everything we can, and the surgery is like the last thing, and it's been pretty fucking amazing, actually.
That's great to hear.
They fused a whole bunch of bones together. I'm sure you've seen the x-rays.
Yeah. It's I mean, medical science is fascinating to me too. It is. Just like what we can achieve. So you said you have one more surgery coming up?
Yeah, my left foot's still deformed.
Okay.
It's actually, so I just had an MRI done. It's actually not as bad as the right foot was.
Okay.
But it still hurts like hell.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, is there hope for a true like pain-free living?
No.
I know it's like a loaded question, but
no, but I went from, like 10 max pain, probably at a 2 right now.
That's great.
Fucking incredible.
Progress again, looking back and just appreciating where you're at now.
So I still have moments where like I'll step weird and get like a sharp pain. It's not, did you hear that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but yeah. All in all, I'm really happy with the work they did. Yeah.
Have you do you see like a consistent surgeon? Like, do you have one that you've been going to
for these surgeries? Yeah, it's actually 2 guys, 2 doctors. The last surgery I was under for like 8 hours, but for them it was like a 10-hour day, and just for one foot. And they break it up, so they do like one half of the foot first and then the other half.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So same thing with the left foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's funny because like when you go see them like at their office, they're just kind of like, oh God, like, you know, it's just same old, you know?
Yeah.
And then I come in with this extremely rare condition and they like light up. They're like, yes, like finally,
That's
you know?
That's so funny.
Yeah, it is. And then, yeah, them on surgery day, I was so scared. And they come in like it's, you know, Super Bowl Sunday.
They're hyped.
Yeah, I can't wait to cut this guy open, you know? Yeah.
I mean, that's the energy I want for my surgeon, honestly.
Same.
Like, I want somebody who loves their job.
It was very reassuring. Yeah, and I guess they, God, I can't stomach seeing it or imagining it, but they were like, we were really just working the muscles and pulling on things, like just to see, you know, like what strength you have. Because they were supposed to, originally they wanted to cut some of my calf tendon and bring it down and use as extra support down here. But they were like, I guess, really just pulling on my muscles and shit and just, and they're like, no, it seems solid. We don't need to cut his calf open. I'm like,
I'll take it.
Yeah. I can't do that. I'm thankful someone can.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's been wild.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
It was great chat
for your time. Yeah. It's good to get to know you better.
I've convinced myself that it helps me sleep so I can buy another ounce like every other week and waste the oxygen gifted to me by the trees, but I'll pay them back when I decompose underneath the leaves. And if I get sober, I'll figure out my life, but that scares me half to death. I'm fighting demons in my mind and they're winning all the battles with the SSRI, so I'm choosing very poorly till my ego's waving wide. Maybe this time, rising from the ashes, the smoke and mirrors parted ways to lead me to a crash out. There's a crow on top of paradise.